Hey friends, my name is Chelsea Burke and I am a local Richmond director. Prior to COVID-19 shutdowns, I was directing The Robber Bridegroom at Spark and was having such a great time. I want to thank everybody for your questions and all of your love. So let's go ahead and get down to it. First of all my love back to Lucy, Donnie, Alexander, and Pam. I love to see all the love that I got from you. It made me very happy. So folks asked me a bunch of questions about directing, what's that like in this town, and a whole bunch of stuff down the line. So let's go ahead and get started. The first question was, how long have you been working in the community? So I moved to Richmond about 6 years ago, but have been directing for about 4 or 5 in this community. Prior to that, I lived in Detroit for a couple of years. And before that, I was in school at Radford University. How did I get started? So I got started at Radford. I took a directing class when I was there, and I fell in love with it, but did not start professionally directing until I moved to Richmond. I started, DJ Gray gave me my start here, and I had expressed an interest in directing, have been doing some other things, stage managing, acting, and a piece came along that he felt like I could be good for, and the rest is history. I always say that I did everything in theater prior to directing, which was very useful for a lot of my work. Some tips on networking in the community. The number one thing that you can do is to show up and start becoming a part of the community, whether it's at a day that we're doing strike, or being a member of the audience, or coming to a special event, or coming out to auditions. Networking in a community is also about becoming part of the community. That's a beautiful thing about Richmond, is that it truly is a theater community, and the best way to network is to get out there, meet people, make those connections, share what you're passionate about, be honest about what you're interested in, and even if you're a little bit shy, coming out and being your truest self is always going to make yourself shine. This was a really good question. I had to actually write some stuff down from it. After reading the piece and doing a bit of research, what's your next step in the process? Oh boy, it's a big one. So the first thing that I do after reading a piece, doing a little bit of research and settling in with it, is asking myself, what are the core questions of the piece? Whose show is it? Whose show does it belong to? Is it Danny's show? Is it completely an ensemble show? Whose story are we telling in it? Who is the play for? Who is the intended audience? Because that is going to shape a lot of my ideas about what I'm doing. How is it relevant now? There's a lot of plays that are done, or that are done and done again, that still hold a lot of truth today that are from a long time ago. So finding what resonates with me and what resonates with the community today and why it's still important is really important. And what do I think the play is trying to say? What is its message? What is the question that it is asking of the audiences? And what is the intended answer? The other piece to what I think the play is trying to say is, how do I want to try and say that or subvert that idea? In some cases, that's necessary depending on the play, because it's not just what the play is trying to say, it's how you're going to say it that is incredibly important. And finally, and hopefully this comes with the first couple of reads, is finding what I think is important or valuable about a play. It's finding the passion in the project is vital, whether it is a 30-minute piece that's traveling around to schools, or whether it is a seminal work that has been on my to-do list for years. It's always about finding my connection to it and why I think the story is important to tell. Because if you find the passion behind it, you are going to be able to, the director is the leader of the process. And if you can get other people to believe in what you're trying to say with a piece, or what you hope the collective is going to say with a piece, then you're going to be incredibly successful with your work. Another great question, kind of turning the bend. I'm also a teacher at Spark. I've done some audition workshops and some August adventures. Hi, Tuckahoe family. So what is your greatest success when working with a student? It is always helping them find in themselves what was always there but they doubted. When somebody is stressing out about dance moves and the first time they get it and the way their face lights up, or stressed about lines or a particular song, and seeing that joy spark in them when they finally achieve it and helping guide them to that point. Sometimes I don't have to do anything. Sometimes we have to do a little bit more, but that is the greatest feeling, is seeing someone succeed, especially at something that they were having trouble with for some time. What is your favorite August adventure memory? This is a great one. It is, no question, running down the stairs at Maggie Walker back into the cafeteria area after the show is over and celebrating with all the students and just crying and laughing and cheering for the fantastic work that they've done. It is always an incredible experience, and getting to share in that moment of exhale after a very wonderful but intense day is something that I'll never forget. And then finally, how can I get into directing too? A great question. Similar to networking, ask around. There may be opportunities to assistant direct, to be an intern, to follow somebody around and just meet with them for coffee. I would be happy to meet for coffee anytime. Because you never know where you're going to find that connection. Also, I said this a little bit earlier, but do everything. The value of a well-rounded director is immeasurable, because if you can understand the work that everyone else is doing and the value of that work, instead of thinking that you're high and mighty and know the answer to everything, when you can put yourself in somebody else's shoes and see the constraints that they're working in or where their ideas might be coming from. Theater is collaborative, and your job is to lead and shape and to sharpen against the other brilliant people in the room. And so I would say do everything. Stage manage, act, design props, and make sure that you understand the full scope of the production so that you can be a great leader. Read and see plays and develop your own aesthetic. So develop what you like about theater. The more that you see, the more that you read, the more that you're going to know what you think is valuable in the work. And when you know what work you like or what directing styles you like, if you like somebody's inventiveness or the way that they handle actors, you're going to be able to refine your own work even more. And then finally, speak up. The best way to get an opportunity is to ask for one. And when I moved here, I was doing a lot of stage management, but I told DJ, hey, I have an interest in directing. I was stage managing Hedwig and the Angry Inch, and at the end of that process, he said, hey, you said you are interested in directing. Here's a play that I think would be great, and the rest is history. And if I hadn't spoken up, that never would have happened, and my life could have been completely different. So that's pretty much it for me. Finally, I did get 2 little messages of love that I wanted to call out specially. Robin and Madeline from my Robber Bridegroom cast. I miss you. I love you. You are amazing at your jobs as well. And I'm hoping that it won't be too long before I get to see you again. So thank you all for the questions. Thank you for the love. Stay safe and keep your shine on. I'll be seeing you again soon.